You're listening to the Elevated Life Real Wellness and Transformation podcast, where we cut through the noise and get real about fitness, nutrition, mindset, and spiritual growth. We are glad you're here. Join us and elevate beyond the ordinary.
If you are new to the Elevated Life podcast, this is what we're about. We walk alongside the eternally driven as they transform their life through wellness, movement, mindset, and personal responsibility. All right? Wellness is the foundation. Movement is the tool. Mindset is the driver. Personal responsibility is the container. And lived experience is the proof. So that's what we're about here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to say something?
No.
There's Jonna saying her thing. I'm just thinking, we have a lot of new listeners. In fact, something super exciting.
Yeah.
We are international now.
Yeah.
Right? The podcast is being listened to across the pond. And so that's what this podcast is about. The whole thing, all the time. We're not into dragging people along. This is for this self-motivated person. To help. We just like to walk alongside as we're doing the work ourselves, right?
Yeah. So let's jump into what we want to talk about today, because it fits perfectly with what you're just saying. This is, if you're listening or watching this right after we release it, it's the beginning of the year. So it's that time where, everybody's like, all right, I'm going to get after it. I'm going to do it. If you're finding this later, it's your time.
Yeah.
There's really no difference just because the calendar says January 1 versus, May 19th or whatever it might be. It's all the same. So we want to just go over 5 kind of general ideas of, places to start and give some, really first step components of each. And then if you're just jumping off the high dive into the deep end and, looking to swim right away and go for it, kind of those
it's a spectrum.
Spectrums. Yeah. Those 2 edges of the spectrum. And then, the stuff that kind of falls in between.
Yeah. So what are we starting with? So obviously, if you are listening to this when we first drop it, like Clint said, this is the new year. You are gung-ho, right? You are just like, maybe 2025 was just, and you are ready.
Yeah.
You are ready to do the things. What are the things?
Yep.
Where should I start? What is real and what is made up in my head?
Yeah.
And how to navigate all the messy bits in between.
Yes, right? Absolutely. So these are going to be, I think, in no real particular order because they're all important.
Yeah.
But we got to start somewhere. And one of the 5 most important is sleep.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because as I was looking at the 5 points, I in my head, I was like, okay, if I were to put this in order, what would it be? And the only one I could really put in order is sleep because of what happens to the body while you sleep. That rest, recuperation, detoxification, all the things, right? So other than that, everything else, it's pretty much all on the top
important.
Tier.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah.
But sleep is transformative. Thank you. There's a word that Donna has a hard time saying. So let's talk about sleep. What, if someone really wants to reclaim some of their life, how could they do that through sleep? What do we think they should do?
Yeah. So
spectrum.
To just jump in and really with all of these, if you're new to the podcast, you can go back. We've got a lot more detailed podcasts about each one of these points.
Yes, we do.
And we talk about most of them all the time.
Yeah.
So this is just going to be kind of an overview. If you want to go back and listen to those, highly recommend it. We've got some great stuff, but really the first thing with sleep or one simple thing on that spectrum is having a consistent bedtime.
Yeah.
making sure you hit that, whatever that is.
Yeah. Prioritizing sleep, right? That's like step one. And having a sleep routine would be somewhere in that spectrum. And then at the way end of the spectrum is, okay, tomorrow I'm going to start going to bed at 7:30. And if that works for you, then that's great. We've talked about in the past turning off the blue light, anything that's stimulating. Blue light doesn't affect me. What affects me is watching something before bed that gets my central nervous system dysregulated, which is, something intense, whatever, not laughter. I love anything feel good, but anything that's intense that, makes me sad or whatever, that definitely affects my sleep. Everyone is different. So gauging that is something that you have to take personal responsibility for and take it out of your life.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty much that simple. You can't build muscle. You can't metabolize food. You can't
regulate stress.
Yeah, anything with lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Right? You just can't. So those are things that you are going to have to address individually. Listen to your body and then start prioritizing that rest. It's beyond important.
I think especially one of the hard things for me as I was getting into this world is on the weekends.
Yeah.
Whatever your weekend is, whatever your days that you don't have to set an alarm the next morning, basically, is still prioritizing sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
And because it's not a thing that you can catch up on.
No.
It's just, and if you're thinking, okay, Sunday through Thursday night, let's say if you've got more of a traditional work schedule, I'm going to get to bed at a good time, so I can get my 8 hours, whatever. But then on the weekends, it's like, oh, now I can stay up until 2 a.m. because I can sleep until 10.
Right.
It just, that throws everything off.
It does. And, it's funny. That's a perfect segue into nutrition. Because it's the same thing with nutrition. Oh, I'm going to eat good because we like to label everything good and bad, which is ridiculous. But then on the weekends, I'm going to just eat like an asshole and feed the toxins that are inside of me and get that craving, right? I mean, it's the same thing. Yep. This is no days off conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, honestly, if you want to jump in and you want to change your life, you're either on that, yes, I'm a full body, yes, I want to do all the things, because there are those people. We advise people to take small incremental steps and stack habits, but there are people out there that are literally like, I don't give a fuck. I'm so sick of myself. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
What can I do? Start with sleep. And now we're going to talk about nutrition.
Yep. So on the one side of the spectrum of just, man, I feel like I need to make some changes, but I don't know what, or, I'm nervous, or I want to ease my way into it a little bit, which is great. Protein. Prioritize protein first thing in the morning. Morning. I shouldn't say first thing in the morning because I don't want to say that.
Right.
For your first meal.
Yeah. For your first meal. It's satiating. It doesn't cause a huge insulin spike. And I would say also 86, the sugary, nasty drink. Anything sugar first thing when you're breaking fast sets the tone for the rest of the day. It just does. It's scientific. You're not an anomaly. Yeah. You're just used to feeling like shit all the time, maybe. So absolutely start that day with something satiating, wholesome, home cooked if possible. I know you can buy egg things, everywhere now. But that sets the tone for the rest of the day, not just mentally, but in your biology. Yeah. It just does. Yeah. So,
and I just wanted to, sorry to interrupt, but just carbs are included in that sugar thing. We've been told a lot, like a cereal or something in the morning. It's going to do the same thing as.
It's a metabolic disaster.
It is.
I see all the time. What do I do for insulin resistance? La, 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 la. This is what you do. Phase one. This is what you do. like causing that huge insulin spike first thing in the morning causes you to crash. Then what do you need to do? You need to have that spike again to get up there. It just is a roller coaster of madness.
Yeah.
So start with some good protein. As we progress through this spectrum, what would you say?
I would say add one piece of fruit
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
And you know, if you can limit other things, that's great. But if you just think about adding that one healthy fruit,
Yeah,
is going to be, it's going to start setting the tone for bigger changes without just having to do that wholesale, you know, I'm just going to completely upend my diet that maybe I've had my entire adult life or my entire life.
yeah.
You know, now all of a sudden on a dime, I'm going to say I'm not doing any of it anymore. You know,
That's at the end of the spectrum. And there are people that, you know, want to know what they should do.
Yeah. And so what do you do?
I would say Whole Foods. If you're in the place where you're like, I'm done, this is ridiculous, fine, I've done this.
Mm-hmm.
Go through your house, throw away everything. I don't care, but eat Whole Foods. You get to eat the perimeter of the grocery store. Yeah. You can have anything you want in the produce section, right? And meats as well, like good quality meats and anything on the edges. Stop with the boxed bag garbage. It is literally killing you.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a ton of jokes out there of, I'm eating less or what. It's such shit. And we, as a population, are in such a mental health like crisis. The fact that this isn't the very first MF thing that is being advised, secondary movement, but we'll get to that, is insane to me.
Yeah.
You literally are what you eat. So if you want to stop feeling like shit, stop eating shit.
Mm-hmm.
Value yourself. So if you're on that spectrum of, okay, I don't care, I'm jumping in, I'm so done, which again, I don't 100% advise, but I do know that there's people out there like this.
Yeah.
I tend to be extreme in this. I've definitely found more balance because extremes don't work. They don't. They're not long lasting. But if you're ready, then you're ready. Whole Foods.
Yep.
That's it. Like non-negotiable.
Yes. And if you're not quite there, but you know, you're getting there, and maybe you've gone through this before where it's like, oh, I tried that and it lasted 10 days. And then, you know, I went crazy the other way. Whole Foods for one day, like one full day, you know, make one meal a week that's all from scratch, Whole Foods, like Jonna said, you know, edges of the grocery store, start there.
Yep.
And then, you know, then it's a couple days a week and then a few days a week and build that habit. If you're not in that place of, I have to make all the changes right now because I am, you know, knocking on death's door.
Yeah.
I can't move anymore. So it has to be extreme.
And if you're questioning, you know, let's talk a little bit about the full body yes.
Yeah.
Because this covers all of these 5 points that we're going to make. If you're not a full body yes on that extreme or even somewhere in the middle, but you're like kind of a yes, then we're just starting with breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're just starting with thinking about sleep and maybe getting an hour more instead of doing some, you know, insane sleep routine, wake up routine. Like they're all over the fucking place. And it's funny because who has time for that? Right? Like literally.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to move into fitness now?
I think so.
Okay. So let's talk about the person that's like, okay, it's the first of the year or whatever, March 15th. I want to start. What would you advise on that spectrum?
So if we go again with that, I'm working my way into it. Mm-hmm. The number one thing I would advise specifically for fitness, get a gym membership.
Why? Because
it's so easy to have in your head, I've got all these routines at home. There's 10 billion routines, excuse me, all over the internet. all these things. I can do this stuff. I can incorporate it into my day, whatever. You've been at home already. You've had access to your living room. You've had access to YouTube, and you haven't done it. So the gym membership puts you in a place that's what you're doing. Because when you're in the gym, and we've talked extensively about this, but when you're in the gym, you don't also have the kitchen that you need to clean, or, the floor you need to vacuum, or other thing you need to do. When you're at the gym, you're at the gym.
Yeah.
To focus on your fitness.
Yep. And you're paying for it. So you're more apt to show up.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
One of our I don't know if it's a favorite. One saying that we use is money is the currency of consistency.
Yeah.
And it's just the facts.
Yeah.
When you do that, if you're able to, obviously, and gym memberships, I mean, especially first of the year, if you're listening to this right now, lots of gyms have, first of the year sales and that kind of stuff. The financial burden of a gym membership is not what you might think it is.
No. And we've talked extensively about that. But yeah, get a gym membership. If you don't know what to do at the gym, then just walk on the treadmill.
Yeah.
We've talked about that, and observe, be present, walk on the treadmill, look around, see what people are doing, and go a couple of times a week. Mm-hmm. Right. So if we talk about that spectrum then, and we're into the, I'm all in, right? I'm getting the gym membership and I'm doing the things.
Yeah.
What would be your advice in that spectrum?
Find a good personal trainer.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get somebody who aligns. And again, I mean, this broken record, we've got other podcasts about this. If you want to deep dive into what that looks like, the things to look for, and the things to, that are maybe some red flags, you're going to get with a good personal trainer. You're going to get a program. You're going to get stuff that you can do every day. You're, in the gym and outside of the gym or not outside the gym necessarily, but on your own, when you're with your personal trainer and when you're not with your personal trainer.
And make sure they're focused on more goals. Mm-hmm. Because what we have a lot of in the fitness industry is trainers that are ego driven and they want to do what worked for them.
Yeah.
Right. Because a lot of personal trainers have their own issues with aesthetics and all the things. Right. And so make sure that they're fixated on what your actual goals are.
Yeah.
That is super important. If you don't want a personal trainer and you are on the extreme of just wanting to go to the gym 5 days a week, which I have been there and I have done that, so I understand that, do the compound lifts.
Yeah.
Do your research. If you're super in right now, then doing some research is just going to be part of your process.
Yep.
And I would start with the compound lifts, right? And prioritize mobility.
Yeah.
And there's the whole spectrum in there, right?
I would say even, like if you're that super gung-ho talking 5-6 days a week in the gym, the mobility thing is such an important part of it because it's not 6 days. I don't care how motivated or in you are or whatever. It's not 6 days of heavy lifting.
No.
You'll destroy your body.
Yeah.
But it can be 3-4 days of those compound lifts of that. And then, it's like, I know myself, I have to go to the gym every day or I'm gonna fall off or whatever. This is what I want to do. Those other days, mobility.
Yeah.
Stretching. If you want to do a cardio machine or something like that, whatever keeps you going, but still within the knowledge of you have to have rest days. You have to still be responsible for how your body's going to respond.
Yeah. And I would not advise to do that, to be honest with you.
I agree.
However, that's what I did. Now it took me, a month or so to actually get to that point, but it worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that because I was in a different place in my life, but turns out everyone's different.
Yeah.
So you know yourself the best, right? So do what works for you in this. But I absolutely agree with the gym membership. Like, I think that when you see people doing home workouts, guys, it's because they have already developed the discipline and the habits that allow them the freedom to be accountable to themselves, to show up for themselves in their living room.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, if you've had access to your living room in 85 different weights, and I mean, how many people have stacks of DVDs and VHSs? I'm talking to Gen X right now. That don't do them.
Yeah.
You didn't do them, okay? Or you bought Fit Body Boot Camp or whatever the beach body shit is, and it's been sitting on your shelf forever. Quit lying to yourself.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen. Go to the gym. Okay. It's a safe space. We just did an entire series on what real gym culture looks like.
Yeah.
And 98% of gyms have everyone stoked to see you there.
Yeah.
Yep. With maybe like one asshole.
Yeah.
Right? Like seriously. It's a very safe space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We want to move on.
Yeah.
Next one, hydration.
Yeah.
Water. I mean, it's
very basic.
I was just going to say, it's the most basic one. Drink water.
Yeah. And start first thing in the morning.
Absolutely. On that end, you know, if you're just somebody like, I never drink water, you know, there's lots of you out there. They're like, I go from coffee to whatever to, you know, maybe my energy drinks. And then
we're going to do a whole podcast on energy drinks.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's a whole different thing. But you know, if you're at the point, because one of my favorite sayings, and I think John has kind of taken this on as well, is you have to face reality on reality's terms.
Yep.
And the reality, again, like we've talked about with the other things, is it might not be the only liquid I consume now is water. You know, going from I've done all this other stuff that could be realistic for somebody, but you know, it might not be for you. So water first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And then just keep, you know, gradually introducing it more and more throughout your day.
Put lemon in it. If you really want to zhuzh it up, put some good Celtic sea salt so that you have the the minerals and all the things. What I'm going to say with water is I hear all the time, I don't like water. I don't like water. And this is literally how I feel. This is no nonsense. Grow the fuck up. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, too bad. Like, wham, your body needs water to function. And yes, I believe in, okay, I'm working on it. But this whole notion of, I don't like water. I don't want to drink water. So what can I put in my water to make it more palatable?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Fine. If you got to buy some shit to put in there that's full of artificial bullshit, whatever. But at some point, you're going to have to grow up.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get one body. That's it. And it requires water. That's what it requires. So drink water.
Yeah.
I know that seems a little hard hitting, but honestly, I am sick of this conversation because dehydration has so many terrible side effects and I'm just sick of it. It's just so grow up to me at this point. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much where I stand.
On the other side of it, you know, you'll hear a common, I was going to call it a fad. I don't think it's a fad, but a common refrain. How about that? Is drink a gallon of water a day. You know, that's like the high end extreme, which we've both done. And I think with negative side effects.
Yeah, I am not into drinking a gallon. Here's what I'm into, just across the board, everyone, just in case you didn't know. Listen to your body and then give it what it needs, right? So if you are feeling thirsty, drink water. And then if you're not, don't.
Yeah.
Because in my experience with doing the whole, I have to drink a gallon a day. Number one, the stress around just drinking water, but then it made me sick, like sick, depleted my minerals. It like made me want to barf, like doing this, just drinking water. Guess what that is? My body telling me, Jonna, you don't need water. And then in my head going, but they
Yeah.
said that I do. Right? This is all about reconnecting with your body, guys.
Yep.
So if your body is thirsty, drink water. Done. Like it's that simple. Grow up. And I can say that to myself as well.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not just being an asshole out there.
Yep.
So last one, right?
Yes.
Mindset.
Mindset. What does that mean?
What does it mean? I mean, it's so broad, right? I mean,
there's a couple different components of this. And first of all, I think, and this is kind of the non-negotiable. There's no spectrum on this one, on this component of mindset, is this is going to take time.
Yeah.
You have to, there's no like negotiating away that. There's no like, oh, well, maybe it'll take this and maybe it'll take whatever. It's going to take the rest of your life.
It is. This whole notion of anything happening in 3, 6, 9, 1 year.
Yeah.
It's so old. It's like ancient bullshit. And the fact that people still have a tendency to, because I know for myself, I'm the same way where it's like, okay, everyone says it takes a long time, but for me, it's going to take 3 months. No, anything of value that's going to be lasting forever, which is what we are all about, right? It's going to take forever. We're talking to the person directly that their day one is starting within, them hearing our voice or them finding this podcast and what do I do right now? Fine, this is your day one. But don't be a fool and don't think that it's going to take 3 months, 6 months, or by summer, I'm going to have my summer body.
Right.
Or my summer hydration.
Yeah.
Or any of that. This is, it's fluid. And it just doesn't end.
That being said, if you stick to these things, you'll see results.
Sure.
You'll feel results. You'll feel better in whatever time frame. It's not like I'm going to feel like shit the rest of my life, even if I change all of these things. That's not what we're talking about. It's just not I'm going to do these for a certain amount of time and then I get to stop.
No.
Then I don't have to think about sleep anymore or nutrition because I did it for 90 days.
Unless you want to go back. Right?
Yeah.
And, it's interesting. I heard this quote or saw this quote. It was, you believed in Santa Claus for 10 years. How come you can't just believe in yourself for 10 seconds? And I would say, you believed in Santa Claus for 10 years. How come you can't believe in yourself for all your years?
Yeah.
Like, seriously. It just, yeah. So believing in yourself, showing up for yourself, not lying to yourself is going to radically change your mind. So what are some tangible mindset things?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think at the easing your toe into it, working into it, practicing gratitude. And that can be one thing a day that you're grateful for. And it can be like right now, excuse me, looking out the window and the sun is shining.
Yay.
I am grateful that the sun is out.
Yeah. That's simple. And I would say for those of you easing into this, because as I reflect on my own beginning of my journey, which really happened at birth, but we'll just say that more recently. We talk about motivation, how it's fleeting and whatever, but that's internal motivation, right? If you want to grasp for motivation through this, I say fucking do it. Right? If you need the motivational quotes, you need to clean up your feeds to where it's gym people, mindset people, sign up for free newsletters. Like we have one at cjelevatedlife.com that comes out every Monday, right? Just for that external, like, yeah, right? Because sometimes it's lacking internally. We want to get to the point where it may be not, but even there are days where I'm lacking it still, and I've been doing this forever. And so grasp for those, right? There's nothing wrong with like reading a motivational quote that maybe you've read a million times before that didn't hit like it's hitting today.
Yeah.
Right? Because guess what? This is what I'm doing and I need those things, right? And that's okay. So I would say clean shit up so that you have those things coming in that are just helping you, right?
Yeah.
It's like a supplement in your life, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's helping you along your way. And then realize too that there's going to become a time where you don't need to. But I would encourage you, give it a year. I want you to give this a year. These 5 things, whether you're dipping your toe in or you're going extreme first, and then eventually you're going to go back to dip the toe. But give it a full year. Why not?
Yeah.
The year's going to pass anyway.
Yeah.
Time is going to go by. So what if you spent the year prioritizing your sleep, prioritizing your nutrition, your fitness, your hydration, and your mindset, and see where you are in a year and reevaluate. Okay, where was I at the end of 2025 mentally and blah, 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 blah. And then where am I at the end of 2026? I guarantee you with 100%, whatever authority. I don't want to say that, but like you're going to be different.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better. I promise you that. So yeah, that's pretty much that's it.
The other end of motivation, of mindset, if you want to jump in hardcore, would just be, like really digging into meditation.
Right.
Really digging into
yourself,
your central nervous system, we talk a lot, and I think every time we say this, it's like, the words are cringy, but they work. Your childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Those things, again, we've got a lot of podcasts on that stuff, and it can be fucking intense.
Yep.
So you got to be prepared.
Yeah.
For that. So I would not recommend jumping right into the deep end on that. You got to work your way into it. But also what you'll find, and this, I was thinking this, John, as you were talking about, what you were just talking about, it's going to be an evolution. As you go, extreme, excuse me one sec. Excuse me. As you go maybe extreme and then ease back and extreme, the meditation specifically, we've got a couple recent podcasts on our journey with meditation and what it looks like. And that can be applied to all these different things of, again, if it's January 1 or if it's whatever day it is when you're starting into this, don't feel like whatever you do right now is what you have to keep doing.
Yeah.
These are all, it's all a fluid situation of again, going back to what Jonna said earlier, listen to your body.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I would never tell someone to just jump into meditation and deep breath work but I also wouldn't tell someone to just jump in and go to the gym 7 days a week, guys.
Right.
Like you can ease your way into this. And as you fall in love with yourself and showing up for yourself and stopping the lying to yourself, like this is something that is such a fucking issue to me, especially around New Year's. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then it doesn't happen because you lose motivation, you fall off, and then you're beating yourself up and you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And that needs to like be done. So with these 5 points, sleep, nutrition, fitness, and mindset,
and
hydration, my advice to you would be to start slow, but just effing start and let it build, right? We talk about that all the time. It's like the snowball effect. It just keeps going. And don't stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing where it's like, don't stop. If you have to take a week off because you're traveling, or 2 weeks off or whatever, fine, whatever. Life happens, right? Just keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going, because you're going to have reward at the end of this year. And then you can stop this cycle of starting and stopping and feeling bad and all the things.
Yeah. And looking for the next quick fix.
Yeah.
That's just...
I'm at the point where I'm like, look at your quick fix. Like, see, I get that all the time. Oh, it says this, blah, 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 and this, and oh, it says you can, be skinny in 3 months. It doesn't exist, unless you're on Ozempic or GLP-1. But in my opinion, you should be lifting weights with that, or you're going to get wasting disease. So there's that. Just a whole different conversation. But real life changes live in discipline and consistency.
Yeah.
It does not live in a quick fix that is fake. That is the fitness industry, the mindset industry, the healing industry, the whatever, the medical industry, selling you a lie that you are then ingesting and believing it to be the gospel truth. And it always ends in failure.
Mm-hmm.
It just does. And so our goal is to have you not fail this year in 2026. We don't want to see people fail. That's why we have to be honest and say, oh, guess what? You're not going to have your dream body by summer unless you're 16.
Yeah.
And, you whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the cliche is a cliche because it's applicable. You didn't get here overnight.
It's
so you're not going to get out of it overnight.
You're just not.
It's just not the way that it's going to be.
Really frustrating. Okay. Because I tend to be the person that wants to jump to the finish line as well. That is something I battle with a lot of different things in my life, but it takes time, and it's worth it because you get to know yourself on this entire journey of sleep, fitness, blah, 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 right? All the things. You get to know yourself, and you're your only self that you have. You're with yourself your entire life. So it's probably time to get to know yourself, right?
Yeah.
Just real quick, I'm going to add a sixth thing.
Oh, bonus thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Just last minute. Stop with the excessive alcohol. Stop it. It is not for you at all. And it fucks up everything that we just mentioned. That's it. Do the research on your own. Just quit playing with it. I love so much. We did a whole podcast on this, that people are exiting alcohol. It's like in mass droves. Of course, they're falling into like weed and other things, anything to numb. But, it just disrupts sleep, disrupts hydration, mindset, fitness, nutrition, all of it. It's the biggest derailer. So let's just stop that as well. That's my little burp. Thank you so much for listening to the Elevated Life podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, all with CJ Elevated Life _ follow along. Of course, listen to the podcast, rate, review, leave comments, all the things. I just want to have a huge heart shout out to all of our listeners across the pond.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're covering the globe.
Yeah.
That's
exciting.
Yeah, it makes me excited that there's people all over the world that want to level up their life.
Absolutely.
Right? That is exciting. So
thank you
to all of you. Thank you. Share the podcast with someone that you think would benefit from it, right?
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to Elevated Life. If this episode resonated with you, we'd be incredibly grateful if you'd rate, review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your reviews help us reach more people who are ready to break free from the comfortable hell and step into real transformation. To rate and review on Apple Podcasts, open the app, search for Elevated Life, scroll down and tap Rate and Review. To rate and review on Spotify, tap the show page, scroll down and select your star rating, then tap Write a Review to leave your thoughts. You can also connect with us on social media. We're on Facebook as Elevated Life and on Instagram and TikTok at CJElevatedLife_. We'd love to hear from you. We'll catch you next time. Keep elevating.